residents and protesters are very concerned that a chemical called modified hydrofluoric acid could be released from the facility, and they're calling on the Torrance Refinery to make a change.
Torrance has been my family's home since my great-grandparents settled here back in the 50s.
Hey, Grandpa. How's it going? Good.
I always figured it's where I'd eventually raise my own family, around grandparents, cousins, aunts, and uncles. But a threat has been looming over our quiet little suburbia for decades, and its roots reach back to the origins of the city itself.
Torrance, like a lot of the areas down here, there was kind of an oil boom. The airport, that whole residential area now, that was big fields with oil wells. And then as time progressed, the city decided they wanted to have more people here. It was pitched as a modern little community. They felt a little safer, gave a little bit more opportunity.
To process the wealth of oil being pumped out from under our feet, our local oil refinery was constructed. As a kid, I thought it was nothing more than our local cloud factory. In reality, it's an industrial behemoth responsible for satisfying 10% of the entire state's gasoline demand.
What do you think community attitudes were like about the refinery and industry?
If we could be somewhere where there isn't a refinery, that would be better, right? Over the years, concern would pop up because of different explosions and accidents that happened at the refinery. In 1987, I was on my way home from work and I was driving past the ExxonMobil plant. And about the time I got partway down Crenshaw, they had a huge explosion. Things happened very fast. Took me a while to get the car stable and straight. It was kind of rocky for a while, and I wasn't the only one. Some of the cars in front of me were hit pretty good. Before the explosion, I noticed a fellow jogging along on the sidewalk. This guy took the impact and it blew him out into the street.
And in February of 2015, we youngsters got our own taste of excitement from the refinery.
This just coming in to CNN. Take a look at this. Crews are responding to
a powerful explosion at an oil refinery
in Torrance, California.
The plumes of black smoke sent ash raining over the area.
Schools are being told to shelter in place.
The federal agency charged with investigating the accident calls it a near miss.
Years later, students from North High School, which is just up the street from the refinery, remember the explosion vividly.
I was in Miss Dupay's class for biology, second period.
When we felt this really violent shudder, but it was only for a moment.
Everybody was kind of looking at each other like, what was that? What do we do? Are we getting, is it like a shooting? Is it like something serious like that?
We all looked and we saw almost like a mini mushroom cloud just kind of pluming from the refinery.
They rang the bell to do a shelter in place.
They asked us to put some cloth to block out the door frame.
We were stuck in that class for 4 hours.
I didn't really think it was going to be anything that bad because I'm used to seeing smoke coming from the refinery.
They were like, oh, the refinery exploded. And I was like, oh, awesome.
It wasn't until after when we heard about the reports that a piece of shrapnel had only been 3 feet in a different direction. It would have punctured some gas that would have killed us all.
I found this last part especially concerning. As someone who breathes air pretty frequently, I wanted to make sure that we didn't have to worry about this chemical anymore. It's called hydrofluoric acid, a chemical popularized in the show Breaking Bad as the perfect solution for turning your enemies into soup. And there are thousands of gallons of this stuff sitting less than a mile away from our homes. Which made me consider, what if our near miss hadn't been a miss at all? A group of concerned citizens were holding a 9th anniversary rally nearby, so I decided to drop in and see if I could find some answers.
I fear hydrofluoric acid.
It's exceptionally dangerous. It is the most dangerous chemical in the industry. It is used in a place that's vulnerable to accidents.
2015, I was out in the community and I saw ash coming down on me, and I said, ooh, that doesn't look good. ABC News said there's been an explosion at the Torrance Refinery, but there are no air quality issues. So Exxon had a meeting to reassure the community.
On Wednesday, we messed up. It doesn't feel good, and I'm sorry.
Had a doctor up saying, don't worry about the dust. It's all safe. It's just dirt. It's okay. But of course, we know if a big facility like that blows up, the ash is going to have all kinds of stuff in it, right?
So nothing in that dust is hazardous whatsoever, no matter what the parts per million is.
We went out and started organizing like heck, and we put out 100,000 door hangers on people's doors. And a guy called me up and he said, I worked in that place in 1999. I was exposed to HF. And what is that?
Hydrogen fluoride got used in the alkylation system that was added on to the Torrance Refinery in 1966, after all the houses were built. Their model was that since it's liquefied, if there ever was a tank breach, the stuff would squirt out and fall harmlessly to the ground as rain out. 21 years later, Amoco Oil said, you know, it's about time we proved that we're right. So they got in league with Dr. Ron Koopman to conduct a test out in the Nevada desert. The plan was to release about 8,000 pounds of pure hydrogen fluoride, and it emptied out in a few minutes. No rain out. Zero. Not one drip. Instead, the HF came out and formed a ground-hugging cloud that rolled on for miles. 3 miles away, the cloud concentration was still enough that if you're standing there, it would kill you in 10 minutes. That's when they knew how dangerous it was.
On the day of the explosion, we had ashes all over our house and yard, and I figured we would have been in the kill zone had it released the HF at that time.
My husband and I are coming from Westwood Village, and we moved out here to start our family. And, you know, affordable living and safer community until we read and learned about this.
This is signatures, thousands of signatures of people on petitions to get rid of HF. We think there's something like 13,000 people, and the refineries will call us a small group of activists.
We've waited long enough, and we don't know what response we're going to get. I'm prepared to put in legislation.
After everyone at the rally was effectively stirred, we followed Steve on a march to the refinery's gates.
Hey, hey, ho, ho, MHF has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, MHF has got to go.
We are fighting for the air we breathe, the water we drink, the people we love, and the places we call home, and absolutely nothing is going to stop us.
Had meetings with the refinery, and they actually promised to do this report on the hierarchy of hazardous control.
And so I asked, well, can we get a copy of this HCA? Finally, we get a letter saying that it is exempt because it would harm the refinery's privacy and financial interests, which greatly outweigh any public interest in disclosure.
MHF has got to go, hey, hey, ho, ho. MHF has got to go, hey, hey, ho, ho.
MHF has got to go, hey, hey, ho, ho. MHF has got to go. PBF, put profits second to people's lives. People shouldn't even have to be worrying about this stuff.
It's not about closing them. Most refineries use an alternative. that's vastly, vastly safer.
You don't have to spend the money on safety training, doing reports to the EPA. All that will go away. And we're calling on the board of PBF to do the right thing and make this change.
We have to keep putting that demand in front of the refineries, the city, the governments, the voice of the people, much more powerful than they realize.
At the end of the day, the community's appeals to the refinery were met with silence. We're left to wonder if any change will come as a result of these defiant cries, or if we must instead hope that, when the next accident happens, we will be lucky enough to get away with another near miss.
What do we want? Justice!